Blog Talk Radio.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Welcome to Weightlifting Talk with your host, Donny, Shankle, John North, and our special guest today, a man, a coach that has coached over 100 national champions, a man with a beard, a man that doesn't say much besides put more weight on the bar or why did you miss it? Coach Glenn Pendlay. Very excited to have him at in the show today. Welcome to the tree fort of strength, coffee, love, and harmony. Welcome back, where we'll talk weightlifting and whatever else pops into the conversation. Who knows? Went crazy places last time. What's going on, guys?
Not much, John. We are gearing up for the muscle driver tryouts for the muscle driver team next Saturday, as you know. That should be a pretty exciting time. I know we have several top caliber lifters that are planning on coming. We also have a lot of developmental lifters, and that's exactly what we're looking for, is not only to have some of the better guys, but also have some guys and gals that have potential and are more towards the start of their career and can develop into great in the coming years.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So how many people are coming out for the tryouts?
Right now, I think we have about 20 that are signed up. Of course, some local, some coming from across the country. I think we have a few from Washington State, and a bunch of other places. Couple of the people that are coming out, I'm really excited about. I think we'll find some good talent. No doubt.
Well, it's exciting for weightlifting. I mean, there's a big expansion and growth of the sport. Has anybody ever done this before? I mean, there's an A team. Can you explain it a little bit, what the muscle driver team is doing? I mean, there's an A team, B team, C team. There's a walk-on team, a sponsored team, or...
Well, basically, just to ask if anybody's ever done this before, I think it's similar to what York Barbell did in the 60s and 70s. It's an equipment company, a barbell company that is supporting a weightlifting team. I think we're doing it in a little more formal way than has been done before, but we are starting out with a group of 10 lifters, and we pay all the expenses, weightlifting associated expenses, travel expenses, etc., for everybody on the team, plus give out a monthly stipend. And of course, those are graduated so that the better lifters get more money than the ones that aren't quite as good, and that's going to create a very competitive situation, not just to get on the team, but also within the team. Because if you are on the A team, you make several hundred more bucks a month, and so even within the 10 lifters, there's always going to be competition trying to beat each other, because moving up in your ranking on the team means more money. So I think it'll be wonderful for weightlifting, and it's something that I hope grows. I hope our team grows, the numbers that we can support, and who knows, maybe we'll start a trend. Maybe we won't be the only company doing this.
Well, I tell you, I'm excited to see. It's going to be an absolute battle between A team, the last two guys on A team, and then the first two guys on the B team. I mean, it's just going to be a month-to-month battle between the B team knocking a few of the A team guys off, and a few A team guys holding their spot. Even me, Donny, of course, is the first A guy. I'm the second A guy, but even as the second A guy, you just never know, because even the B team is stacked.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the names of the people that are and the totals of the people that are already here, there's going to be some competition. You got guys like Travis Cooper that are coming up for the tryout. Travis, I've always thought Travis was a great lifter, had a lot of potential. He's recently really cleaned up his technique on the snatch. I could see Travis doing some really scary numbers. Of course, Caleb Whitby has wonderful potential. I think he's done 150, 190.
Does Caleb Whitby talk?
No, he doesn't. He's mute.
Does Caleb Whitby like any of us?
No, I don't think he likes any of you.
Why does Caleb Whitby stare at me the way he does?
I think he wants to beat you. I think that's he wants to beat everybody.
Or he likes you.
Donny Shankle.
Hey.
Donny, why don't you talk?
I'm just looking forward to hearing Coach Pendlay, man. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking about some good things. Muscle driver's the place to be for weightlifting, and I want people to hear it straight from the mouth of the man who's starting it all. I think it's something to really, really pay attention to. Muscle driver is definitely the place to be for weightlifting right now. We're only going to grow. I'm not only looking forward to this competition coming up. What is it? Not this weekend, but next weekend. But you think that this tryout is going to be intense. Wait till word gets around. Remember those Dollar Fridays we used to compete for at California Strength? I mean, take that, and that's not just $100, $200 on the line. This is good money on the line each month to live as a professional weightlifter and to do some serious stuff with it. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward not to just this one, but all the competitions in the future to get on this team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think people that are on the fence, and they don't come to this tryout are going to kick themselves because, it's once they see what's going on here, I think some people are going to say, man, I should have bought that plane ticket, or I should have taken a drive and kind of put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, weightlifting's changing, and the muscle driver and the people who are running this and developing this are vanguard of what's going on in that change. And you're right, Coach. If you're a weightlifter out there and you don't consider training out here, then you're missing out.
Well, there's already a bunch of big names coming out. Like you said, Travis Cooper. There's a bluebird landed on my shoulder the other day, and I heard the name Holly Mangold.
We got American record holder in the Snatch, Roselix Rivera, coming out.
Roselix is what I heard, yeah. Beat me to Donny.
I'm actually really excited about Roselix coming out. I mean, she's a fiery lifter. I think she would really add something. I can't wait to see her out here.
Everybody I've noticed on this team has got charisma. They got a little bit of ego to them, which they either display either modestly or theatrically. And I think, any addition to the team that has a person with charisma, who's got talent, who's willing to work hard, is going to be great for our team.
Yeah, I mean, already the people that we have, there's already been great battles. I mean, Kevin's getting freaky strong, snatching 150, 150 plus almost every day, at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Caleb Whitby, the new guy, the rookie, which is, shit, he acts like he's not a rookie. He acts like a damn vet. He's going to rip someone's head off in a second.
I saw that. Kevin's been giving you a little bit of run in training.
It's been crazy.
He hit, 151 that one day?
And beat me in the snatch the other day.
I never would have thought this soon that Kevin Cornell would have taken John North in the snatch, so.
Well, I was pretty pissed. It was the video that damn Glenn made where he filmed Kevin and then asked... And then I knew it was going to happen. He panned over to me, and I think he even zoomed in like an asshole. I was furious. I wanted to rip the camera out of his hands and smash it down like The Godfather 1.
How furious are you going to be when Caleb Whitby starts beating you in total?
That will never happen. Caleb Whitby he's got sticky toes.
Sticky toes? What's that?
He doesn't have the Ali feet. He moves too slow. I'll never beat the champ.
He also out front squats you by about 40 kilos.
That's enough. All right, look, I'm not going to say he's not going to beat my total. He's a freaking scary-ass man is what he is. I lay in bed and I tremble of fear.
Before we get into anything else, I got a qualm that a score that I want to settle here. And It happened a little earlier this week. John, you know I'm a Lady Gaga fan, right?
Yeah, of course.
I love me some Lady Gaga.
You really do.
I mean, she's got a little petite waist.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you like her music, too.
She's an entertainer.
She's an entertainer.
I like
But
people,
you like the way she looks as well.
I like people that know what they are. And
she's confident.
And confident.
Yeah.
You know. But we had a little discussion.
She takes bold steps.
Bold steps.
She doesn't hide in she doesn't hide who she is.
Right.
Right.
But we were in the gym, I think it was Wednesday, and I brought up that picture of Lady Gaga wearing nothing but meat.
Okay.
Remember that picture?
I do.
I mean,
I do.
If
I'm
you need,
very intrigued of where this is going.
If you Google Lady Gaga and just type in meat dress, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I asked Caleb, Kevin, Tom, I said, what's better than a naked woman covered in meat?
Yeah.
And every single one of them said, oh, I don't like that.
What are you talking about? You don't like it?
I know. Can you help me out here? And
what does that even mean, you don't like it?
How can you not like a naked woman?
That's like saying that you like to low bar back squat.
I think they needed a visual aid. That's what I think they need.
Lady Gaga wearing meat?
Yeah.
And you're not going to like that.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Any woman wearing
You'll
meat.
Never welcome to the team.
Any woman wearing
If you don't like Lady Gaga dressed in meat, then please log off the show right now.
Yeah.
And don't ever call in. Was that too much?
I mean, it kind of goes along with the...
okay, so what's the point of this?
I mean, it just kind of goes along with... there's no point.
Okay.
Not everything has to have a point. You know?
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
But, it just kind of goes along with the whole pay your taxes, please your woman, and crush clean and jerks. You got to know what's good for you. And for me, that was good for me, for the obvious reasons. But for the reasons that these guys didn't like it, I just couldn't wrap my mind around that. Coach, what do you think of this? How come those guys didn't like Lady Gaga covered in meat? What was that all about? What do you think?
I have no clue, Donny. I have no opinion on the subject whatsoever.
If you like naked woman covered in meat, call in to the show, 646-652-4173, and let me know exactly what was going on in my teammates' heads, please.
Well, I tell you, I don't want to leak it, but I guess I will. Let's just put it this way. Pay your taxes, please your woman, and crush clean and jerks is in the process of being put into a T-shirt.
Not exactly. It doesn't have to exactly be in that order, as long as it gets through to you.
It's a quote that I live by for the rest of my life.
I just heard it last week.
Well, my future life. We got a call, 813. Let's see what this guy or girl has to say on Weightlifting Talk with Glenn Pendlay, Donny Shankle, and yours truly, John North. 8381, what's going on, bud?
Hey, it's Jacob Sipkin. What do you guys want to talk about?
Jacob.
Hello, John.
Oh, my gosh. Welcome to Weightlifting Talk. My best friend in the whole wide, top 30.
Your best Jewish friend.
Jacob is a Jew, just to let everybody that's listening on the Weightlifting Talk know. Jacob, how does it feel to be Jewish?
I'm pretty all right with it. Chosen people, all that.
Exactly. How does it feel to be wrong?
About what specifically?
Specifically the fact that Jesus was God's Savior, or our Savior.
Oh.
The guy walked on water, he turned water into wine, and you still don't believe him.
I mean, I've kind of come to grips with it, but I thought this was weightlifting talk. Does Jesus talk now?
I have one question. I would never take you to a magic show because you'll never believe anything.
Go on.
Donny, how's Monterey out there, man?
Monterey's pretty good, Donny. Lifting weights, missed training with you guys.
California, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, these days I lift with people who I can actually outlift on occasion, and I just, that doesn't feel very good. I like getting destroyed.
Jacob, can
I like hitting a PR clean and jerk and being like, oh, these guys power snatch that.
Jacob.
Yeah.
One thing more before we talk weightlifting.
Go ahead.
My best friend, Pookie, Nathan Apsel, he's Jewish.
That's good.
That's
so what you're saying is that you actually really like the Jews.
And then every time I see you, I give you a hug.
That's true. It's kind of awkward. I don't know what to do.
Any new PRs?
I won't give you a hug. Don't touch me.
Good. Thank you, Donny. I appreciate it.
How's California without us out there?
Say that again?
How's California since we left? I miss it out there.
Yeah, man. It's still California, but like I said, training with you guys was just was freaking awesome. So Fridays just aren't the same anymore.
Well, that's fantastic, Jake. But what the hell is your question? What can we help you with today?
Glenn told me to call. I don't know what you want me to say. Glenn was like, Jacob, you should call. And I said, well, I guess I'll call. So my question is, what do you want to talk about?
Really quick.
What is this, your show? Just come in here and start tagging stuff over. If you ain't got a question, hang up, all right?
Hey, man, I'm just doing what Glenn told me, as usual. Glenn tells me to...
movies you've seen lately. Give me one good movie. Go, fast.
One good what?
One good movie, Jacob. Hurry up.
One good movie, Braveheart.
Oh, recently.
Movie ever made.
That's not even on my top 10. But
what? Not even on your top 10? Braveheart? We can't be friends anymore. Does Donny know that Braveheart's not in your top 10?
Favorite movie is AI.
No. It's The Truman Show.
That's spectacular. I can't believe Braveheart's not in your top 10. I'm kind of disappointed in you, John, as a person.
Okay, let me tell you something right now. Jacob, you have horrible movie taste. I forgot what you told me what your favorite movie was.
Braveheart.
It's not even that good of a movie.
Not cool, bro.
Coach, what you Rob Roy over Braveheart?
Yes. Rob Roy is a little bit better than
Rob Roy is also fantastic.
I think that, John, you should get off the subject of movie. More and more people with terrible, terrible taste in movies.
Agreed. I agree with that.
If anybody likes the movies, the Truman Stop. Gladiator and John, Coach, and Jacob.
Seems fair. Do you want to talk about weightlifting?
Jacob, we got a few other callers. Thank you for calling in. I love you. I miss you. And real quick, are you going to come down and see us?
I am. I don't know when, but I'm definitely going to make it out there.
We'll keep calling, man.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Before we get off the movie topic, I want to say one thing. I've been watching this theatrical trailer for the Dark Knight Rises that's coming out July 20th, and there's this little scene that just gets me going, and I've been watching it, and it's going to get me going for training today. What's her name? Catwoman.
Well, you told me this, and I got goosebumps.
I know. Catwoman looks at Batman in the scene and says, "You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything." And Batman looks at her with that feral voice, and he says, "Not everything. Not yet." And I don't know what it is about that, but it puts me in another element, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna kill all of you today in training. Bold steps.
Well, I saw that 180 clean and jerk you missed.
Okay. No comment.
I know you're coming off a bad injury, and you took one for the team at PanAm's. But even when you get better, I'll tell you one thing: Caleb Whippy's not coming after me; he's coming after you.
It's a slow process, but it's going good. I'm feeling better in training every day. I wanted to come back and lift heavy with you guys right off the bat, but taking it a little bit slower. What are you guys pointing at? What's going on here?
All right, we're going to take a phone call.
Gotta go to the first guy.
940, go ahead. You're on Weightlifting Talk. What's going on?
Hey, John and Glenn and Donny. It's Neiman.
Hey, Neiman.
Neiman!
Hey.
Neiman, the national champion, the 2012 national champion. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, okay, I guess it would be a question. On the whole team tryout thing, y'all are going to tell me who all made the team, right?
I think everyone will be made aware of who made the team, yes, Neiman.
Okay, I don't want to be left out on this.
You won't be left out.
Neiman.
Okay, good.
Neiman.
So what?
I'll ask you a question.
What?
How did it feel to win back-to-back national titles?
Back-to-back?
It feels amazing because I was on the news and everything.
Oh, my gosh. You are amazing. I want to just...
Oh, hey, John.
Yes.
By the way, you're known everywhere.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, okay, by the way, y'all's radio, a lot of people, or y'all's talk radio, people do listen, by the way, because whenever Glenn first got there were some people that said that they watch the talk radio.
Well, thank you. Yeah, tell them thank you. That's awesome.
I think we should say exactly what Neiman won recently. Did you guys even bring that up?
Well, she won a national title.
School age. Neiman is the school age national champion.
Well, that's what we said, right?
Did we clarify school?
Oh, wow. You're getting gritty. I mean, well, it's a national title. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
Well, this is the difference thing. I pay attention to the details.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and John, people kept saying to not be a John North and throw my weights around. I hope you realize that.
Well, you know what, Neiman? If anybody that follows my blog, just tell them AC.
Okay, I will.
Not only did Neiman win her third straight national school-age title, but she went 6 for 6. She set a PR in the clean and jerk. I believe a PR total.
Oh, yeah, I did do a PR total. You were right.
And not only that, but she got the award for having the best technique in her session. And I will say this, I don't believe she took one step during the entire competition. She didn't have to take a step forward or backward on any of her snatches, stood straight up. Every lift was virtually perfect. It was a wonderful, wonderful display of lifting, precision and just absolute mastery over the bar the whole time. It was just a prototypical meet for her. It was wonderful.
And now I read your blog, Coach, and it's amazing to me that she has won 3 back-to-back national titles and has a huge future in the sport. And she trains in her garage.
Well, that's actually the amazing thing about Neiman. Neiman started lifting with me when she was 7 years old. She came into the gym with her grandmother, Mary McGregor, who started at age 55 and at age 60 won the world championships and set new world records as a masters lifter. But Neiman trained from age 7 to 11 along with her grandmother with me, and then I ran off to California and left her. And so she has been training in a garage by herself without a coach. I mean, I do write her workouts and watch some videos on a weekly basis and give her some feedback. But she goes in that garage without a coach, hot or cold. She's done that for 3 years, and I simply do not know how many girls she's 14 now, but how many girls age 11 to 14 would stick with a sport like weightlifting by themselves, training in the garage. Not only that, but training hard enough to make continual improvement and win national championships. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, she sounds like she is a part of this underground gang called the Attitude Nation.
I wouldn't go that far, John.
All right, well, we got another caller here. Let's say 860. 860, what's going on? You're on Weightlifting Talk. What's going on, man?
Hi, is this me?
Hello? Again?
My name's Jen.
Jen, hey, how's it going?
Hey, Jen Conlon, good. I'm very excited to meet you guys.
Definitely. We're excited to have you call in. What's on your mind?
First, I want to say that I'm going to your cert in Rhode Island. I think it's in July, so I'm pretty psyched about that. I have been
fun.
Yeah, I hope so. That's what I'm counting on. I just got into weightlifting probably like 3 years ago. I'm 42 years old. I'm pretty dinged up from a life of hockey, but I'm loving lifting. I own a CrossFit gym also. I do less CrossFit and more lifting for myself.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I do the split snatch, and I know that I get all the weird looks when I do that, but I do that because for some reason it doesn't bug my shoulder as much. I have a loose shoulder that I've had surgery on, and not having to catch in that squat position helps me out a lot, and makes me able to lift, and that's the goal here. I'm not looking at, the Olympics. I'm looking at enjoying my lifting. So do you have any advice about the split snatch and how I can improve myself with that?
Jen, I have coached a couple of different people that split snatched, and in every case it was exactly the same situation as you. It's an older lifter that doesn't have the most flexible shoulders, that may have some pre-existing injuries, and the position of that your shoulders are put in on a squat snatch is just a little bit too extreme, and tends to keep you dinged up. As far as the split, the same advice to people who are split jerking. Always go deep. If you're going to split snatch, practice getting in the deep position. Don't do 9/10 of your reps high, where you take a really high split and then finally try to go deep under a heavy one. Practice that deep position. It's a very extreme position. Basically what you're doing is you're taking a little bit of the load off your shoulders. You're putting your shoulders in a less extreme position, and you're checking that out with a more extreme position for your hips and your legs. You're going to have to practice being down there and keeping your balance and going into that split without hesitating. So, for a split snatcher, get down, get deep, get those knees bent. That's the best. I'm actually
able to get really deep. Actually, kind of trying not to hit my knee on the ground. It's kind of refreshing for me because I can get deep in that position. So I'm glad to hear you say that, and that's what I am just trying to, jump those legs out and get into that good split position. But absolutely, I have heard it from other people too that it has helped with shoulder issues. And like you said, older, I have to. If I ever meet you, I might punch you for that. But but yeah, I guess I am an older lifter now.
One thing that I'll point out that I think some people miss, and you may be doing this exactly right, because I haven't seen you lift, but one thing that people in this day and age that are taking up the split snatch, where you don't see the split snatch very often, one thing people do is they copy the jerk split. The split is not exactly like the split for a jerk. The best thing you can do is find some old pictures of the old, guys like Schnorb Szymanski and folks like that.
Right.
Great at the split snatch, and you'll see that at the bottom of the lift, that front knee is very far forward, way out over the toe. Yeah. I'm familiar with that, and I was doing it wrong initially, and actually talked to Greg Everett, and he said, you got to get that leg out there more. So now I am. It is a true split snatch, which is I'm playing with my balance and where my weight's going, but so I'm not moving a ton of weight right now, but I'm just trying to get that positioning correct. There you go. Well, I thought I'd point that out because, like I said, I haven't seen you lift, and I see some trying to split snatch, some masters lifters nowadays that are trying to make it too much like a jerk split and not really pushing the knee forward. But it's good to hear you're already doing that, and good luck. Thanks. Well, I really appreciate you guys. I'm glad you're on the East Coast, and the biggest thing about you guys that makes my day is that you're freaking funny. And you make me laugh in watching your training videos, and that just adds some lightness to the whole training and getting in there and getting to work. Thanks, Jen. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Jen. We appreciate it.
Bye, John.
And Jen, I'm excited to slam some bars, drink some coffee, and get many PRs with you in Rhode Island. I'm excited. Attitude Nation salute. Wow, I learned actually a lot there listening to Glenn talk. I don't know much about the split snatch. Why don't people do it as much anymore, Coach?
Well, the vast majority of people can simply lift more weight with a squat snatch. If you don't have flexibility limitations, I would really counsel for any younger lifters to spend the time to develop the flexibility to squat snatch. I don't think the split snatch or split clean is really a viable alternative if your goal is to make it to the top, as far as in the open division. But it can really help. It can really be right for some masters lifters. You look at the 40 and above crowd at some point in life, if you're just not going to improve certain things like flexibility at the same rate as you can when you're younger. And there's a significant minority, I guess, of masters lifters just are not going to be able to squat snatch because of flexibility issues. And for those people, the split snatch allows them to snatch and allows them to move reasonable weight.
So you would never start a beginner out today doing a split snatch?
No, absolutely not.
So it's just evolved over many years.
Well, the technique in Olympic lifting has evolved continuously. Really, if you look at each decade, some of that has been just people figuring out better and better ways to do things, more efficient ways to do things, just sort of like the way that the high jump has changed over time. And other things have changed because of rule changes. Probably the most significant rule change was the rule change in the 60s where they allowed the bar to touch your body. There was a time in weightlifting when on the pole, on the way up, the bar was not allowed to touch your body. And so, it took a decade or two for people to really figure out the ramifications of the bar being able to touch your body. But things continually change. Things are always evolving and improving. Hey, what we've got right now is Eric Carpenter just walked in the room. And Eric is part of the crew here at Muscle Driver USA, and he just got back from Santo Domingo from the Masters PanAms, where he took a silver medal. And good job.
Thank you.
He made a PR clean and jerk of 111 kilos, which was a 5 kilo PR for him. And Eric, can you tell us a little bit about what happened during the meet?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It's what I do is nothing on the level of what these guys do, but it's exciting to come in and find a sport like Olympic lifting at the age of 40, and I'm 44 now, and be able to go out to an international competition and do well. But this was probably one of the bigger ones. The most interesting part about this one for me was 2 years ago, one of the people that I lift with had encouraged me to go to a local meet, and I went, did okay, and then she said, why don't you try to qualify for Masters Nationals? And we pulled up the numbers and qualified, and then I went. Then I got second place, and she was like, well, go for PanAms. And so did that and went last year, and it was the first time that my family had come to see me watch, and it was in my home country in Savannah, and the first time I'd ever competed in anything for my country, which is a little different than throwing around weight with your friends. And I bombed my snatch. I opened to 84 and missed it all 3 times, and it was one of the most bitter, crushing things that ever happened to me. And for no other reason than just to get back on and not let that be the end of the story, I just decided right then and there that I was going to spend a little more time and be a little more disciplined, spend some time on it, and that I was going to not only go back, but I was going to open even above 84. So I went back, I opened to 85, and a little bit of a mental test, but hit that, and then hit one a little higher at 89, and then got a little full of myself and went for a matching PR and missed 95 kilos. So it was a good story to be able to, get back on the horse, after getting kicked in the teeth and have a good meet.
Eric, I'm curious. I've watched you train a couple times here since I've been here. But as you're 44, come from a CrossFit background.
Correct.
How's the training in weightlifting? What have you done to train? How many times a week are you training? What are the issues you've had to overcome?
I found for me personally, in my mid-40s, I can't really train as hard or as long or as often as I'd like to, so you have to kind of listen to your body a little bit. The bravado is all good, and you should go for it and that kind of stuff, but you have to be smart, and at my age, it's something I want to be able to do, sustainably and do it for a while, at whatever level I can get to. So what I have been doing is, CrossFit, for better or worse, will keep you as a generalist in, pretty fit shape. So I stopped about 8 weeks out, all conditioning. And as Caleb Ward once told me, when someone asked him once what he did for conditioning, and he made a very funny statement. He said, "I don't run to the car in the rain." So I stopped all CrossFitting. I stopped all the conditioning and just became a pure Olympic lifter for 8 weeks. And during that time, PR'd my snatch by a couple kilos and was working on the clean and jerk. And, things were going well. So I had about 8 weeks of not doing my normal CrossFit routine. But even in my normal CrossFit routine, at least 3 times a week, I would solely Olympic lift. But I got to where I could train for, about an hour every other day, 4 to 5 times a week.
One thing that I have always found true for masters lifters, and I just want to know if you have found this in your own training, is that there's more peaks and valleys, and you're going to have more days where you show up and it's just not there, and probably way more so for a person that's in their mid-20s or late teens. To be successful, you have to be willing to ride the wave when you hit a good day and back off and accept it when it's just not there. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys caught the last radio broadcast. I really appreciate what you guys were talking about before with the value of the miss. And sometimes the miss comes early, and sometimes, 2 weeks out I was missing my opener. I just, had a really bad day. But it was also at the end of training 3 days in a row, which for me was a lot of volume and stuff. And, took a rest day and came back and it was okay. But that's also one of the great things about Olympic lifting is that it's so much mental and so much technique focused that you can make PRs and things happen more often. You really don't have to sit around for weeks or months at my level and wait for something to happen that's never happened before. My first meet I went to 2 years ago, I opened at 60 kilos, and I would never have dreamed that I would, one day hit a 95, and my goal for the next 12 months is to get a 100-kilo snatch. So that part of it is really, really exciting to me. It's really unbelievable the strengths and the gains you can make quickly, even coming into it as a 40-year-old.
Well, one of the things I've always liked about weightlifting, and that has made me fall in love with the sport after doing other things, and made me really focus my life on weightlifting, is how complicated it is. And just as you hit on, there's a huge mental aspect. There's a huge technical aspect, and there's also a big strength aspect. And it's a juggling act, and it's much harder to have all three of those things hit at the right time than it is, in a sport that's 90% technique, or a sport that's, the big difference between weightlifting and powerlifting. Powerlifting is pretty cut and dried. You're either strong enough to bench press something or you're not, one or the other. In weightlifting, you can be strong enough to snatch 100, but you don't have the technical ability. You can be strong enough and have the technical ability, but you have that little voice in your head that makes you hesitate before you go under, and you miss the lift through, lack of confidence. There's so many things that can mess you up. It's a balancing act, or a juggling act, I guess.
Yeah, but I agree 100%. But one of the great advantages of it is whether you're, I do a lot of other sports. I did a triathlon with my brother 2 years ago, and I'll do 5Ks and 10Ks. I like doing lots of different things, riding my bike, playing tennis, volleyball, all that kind of stuff. I've never seen a movement or a sport with as much transference, and I know they talked about this a little bit last week too, than Olympic lifting. It just, for body awareness, for efficiency, it just transfers over much more so than any other singular thing you can do. And it is the hardest thing to communicate to people when they first come into it. They just, they want to muscle it. They don't give the technique enough due, and then they think, things are not possible to be done. You got to get past that. And the other thing that I explain to people a lot of time is it's no different from a golf swing. No one gets coached more than a professional golfer. And I've seen you in the training sessions over there watching those guys. You're watching. They've got one of the world's best coaches watching them every single lift, and these guys have been doing it for years and years. And so if that's the case with them, then the novices like me can certainly benefit from coaching and videoing your lift and having people look at it and help you critique it and keep making it better.
Yeah, one of the things you said was interesting. You were talking about transference to other sports, and there is a lot of debating this point on the internet. People talk about, you can train explosive ability by doing explosive fast squats or pulls or anything other than like a clean or a snatch. One of the things that's always struck me is that you look at, let's say let's use the example of a high school football player. You can't clean 350 pounds and be a bad high school football player. It requires the correct amount and range of physical skills. If you can do a 350 or 300 pound clean, you're going to be a good athlete. You're going to be able to change directions. You're going to be able to move. You're going to be able to hit. A lot of the other training modalities, you can argue in scientific terms or whatever all you want about how you can get the same amount of power generation, et cetera, but you can darn sure be able to squat 500 pounds and still not be good on an athletic field, or do a fast deadlift with 500 pounds and still not be good on an athletic field. There's something about being able to pull a bar up and put it on your shoulders or put it above your head that just, for whatever reason, translates more and better than it should to moving around on the ground and doing things with your body.
I agree 100% in my experience. I mean, I've been a CrossFitter for 4 years, and I've been coaching CrossFit for 3, and I can tell you right now, I could take about any good Olympic lifter and turn them into a very good CrossFitter in a short period of time. You can't take a good CrossFitter and necessarily turn them into a good Olympic lifter. I mean, and you're right. I mean, if I got somebody good at Olympic lifting, the kinesthetic awareness is so high, the mental part is so high, the speed is so high. I mean, it really does, I think, transfer over to other sports more so than any other singular thing that you can do.
Eric, real quick here before you go, I know you got stuff to do. Take us through your clean and jerks. As I understand it, you were in a pretty good battle with the Venezuelan guy for first and second. You ended up in second. But you changed your attempt and ended up going into the lead after your third clean and jerk.
Correct.
All right. And
yeah.
that you needed a 5 kilo PR in order to go into the lead.
Yes. I kind of wasn't expecting it. His meet totals historically were far in excess of mine, and he showed up, and I don't know if he had a problem in training or what happened, but he showed up a little bit beat up, and he was vulnerable. And as soon as we started posting totals up there, he started pulling his totals down. And he ended up snatching 85, 90, 93, and I went for 95, probably a little bit too greedy on my part, and missed the 95. So I knew I had to make up at least those kilos to get him. So I snatched 105. I jerked 105, and he clean and jerked 106, which was tied my PR, and I knew I had no other choice but to go at least 111 and hope I hit it, and then just hope he wasn't going to be able to leapfrog me and get 112 to win by a kilo, and that's what ended up happening. So I said, well, heck, I'm all dressed up. I'm all the way down here in Dominican Republic. The nerves have gone a little bit. The adrenaline's going. I felt like I picked up a house. So I just said, put 111 on the bars. Let's see what happens. And pulled it as hard as I could and dropped under the bar, and to my surprise, I was right there and locked out, and it wasn't the most beautiful one I've ever done, but it was solid, and I got up, and 2 white flags was what it needed, and I knew I had left it all on the platform. So
that's all. It sounds like it was an exciting competition.
It was very exciting.
Well, Eric, we really appreciate you stopping by and telling us about that, and good luck in training from here on.
No problem. And if I could just do one plug, whether you're a CrossFit or Olympic lifter or whatever, you guys, it'd be really nice to have the USA show up at the next Pan American Masters and take a few more people with us. We got some much smaller countries in the Americas that are showing up with a lot more athletes, and there's no reason we shouldn't be able to go and dominate these events. And if you've got guys out there that are over 35 in their 40s, let them know this is absolutely possible, and you can grow and you can compete on an international level, and it'd be nice to see that segment of the sport grow.
Let me add something, Eric. Something that is probably the most important thing that we haven't talked about is you're a good-looking man. I mean, you really are. If I was a girl, I would definitely date you. And every time I see you, I get a little nervous and intimidated because you look exactly like the guy on Mad Men. Not the main character, but the guy with the gray hair. You know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Sterling?
Yeah.
It's Sterling.
I'm not sure about who you're talking about.
It's not Cooper. It might be Cooper. That's a great show. But I just want to say that. So if you guys are trying to visualize what this great PanAm silver medalist looks like.
He is not shaped like an Olympic lifter.
He is not. You are definitely in better shape.
Runner.
I just wanted to let the viewers know that you were a good-looking man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Eric. We appreciate it. Eric is also the guy at Muscle Driver that puts together quotes and everything like that for CrossFit gyms and different gyms that order our equipment. So if you contact Muscle Driver and want to order equipment, there's a good chance Eric will have a hand in it somewhere along the line.
Well, hey, 405, thank you for holding for so long. We're going to take your call here. All right, 405, welcome to Weightlifting Talk. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hello, this is Kevin. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. What's going on?
Awesome. Nothing, just listening to you guys, trying to learn as much as I can from you. Thought I'd call in and try to inspire you as y'all have inspired me on this show. Listened to your last couple of shows back-to-back, twice in a row, got all pumped up, and watched the Danny Lear video, and made my way out to my garage, and for better or worse, I did Snatch for 2 hours, miss after miss, couple of makes, miss after miss, and I finally PR'd once that night, and then I just got so excited I kept going, and I PR'd 2 more times that night, and I hit a mark that I thought, would take me 6 months to a year to make, but just because of your show, I realized I was scared, so I went in there and I just made it happen, so thanks for doing the show. Holy
moly, man. That's
outstanding, Kevin.
That just made my whole day right there.
Good. Maybe you can have a good workout this afternoon based on that inspiration. Also, one more comment and then a question. I can, not to beat the dead horse, but I can probably pinpoint the moment at which I started getting worse athletically, and I couldn't figure it out for the longest time, and it was the low bar back squat. The moment I started doing it, everything just started getting worse. And
don't do it. Don't bring it up. It's going to get crazy in here. Don't do it.
I didn't really want to bring it up again, but I just think it's worth it. And then my final question here is injury recovery. Can you talk a little bit about just overall how you approach injury recovery, and then Donny, you specifically your time at U.S. Cryotherapy and how that worked out for you?
Hey, can you hear us right now?
I can.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, Coach was talking to you numerous times, and I don't think you heard him. So
no.
Hold on 1 sec here. Let him.
Kevin, what I was trying to say there a minute ago was your story about PRing after Snatch in 2 hours and having a bunch of misses. It's one of the extraordinary things, in my opinion, about Olympic weightlifting, and that is there is a certain aspect to weightlifting where you can throw all the planning, the science, the logic, throw all of that out the window, and it just comes down to guts and determination. And in the end, all the fancy workouts and fancy plans and diets and this and that and the other do not lead to success without that certain amount of guts where you can miss a bar 3 or 4 times, maybe have it crash on your head, and still have what it takes to get fired up, grab it again, and give it everything you've got. And that is something that sets great lifters apart from good lifters. That's something that Donny Shankle has probably just about more than anybody else I've met, and not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that. So it's great to hear from you and to hear you say that type of a thing happened to you, and treasure what you did, because that's something that not a lot of people can do. not a lot of people have it in them to do that.
And I tell you, if I miss a few lifts today, I'll think about you and push through for sure.
All right.
Real quick, we go real fast. What was your question, real quick, so we can answer it and talk about it?
Oh, the question was injury recovery. Just could you go over like a overall guideline of how you approach your injury recovery stuff, and then also if Donny could specifically talk about his experience at U.S. Cryotherapy.
As far as the biggest thing with recovering from an injury is you got to keep training. You got to keep training, and you got to do what you can do. And people do one of two things when they get hurt that are wrong. One is they stop training altogether. They get out of shape. Number two is they just keep pounding on that injury and doing what hurts again and again and again, aggravating it, and never healing. You got to walk the line between those two things. You have to let the injury heal. There's going to be certain movements you can't do. There's going to be some things you may have to stay away from until you heal. But find other things that you can do. If you can't catch a bar overhead, you can still do pull. If you can't front squat, you may still be able to back squat. Just things like that. Find a way to continue training, but stay away from tweaking the injury every workout.
Yeah, and a good example of that is earlier this week, I was talking with Coach about a favorite exercise that I like to do, which is snatch grip press while in the squat. And I think this exercise has a lot of value in training, but due to that injury that I got at Nationals, I'm not able right now to put a bar on the back of my neck. And, I tried to put it back on my neck. I think it was Monday of this week, and I just aggravated that injury again. So I was pretty frustrated, and I brought it up in training to Coach. And, he made the suggestion of doing the exercise, which I'm going to go ahead and post on my blog later as an addendum to the snatch grip press and squat. And that was doing it with dumbbells. And it didn't dawn on me. And that's the great thing about being around people that lift all the time and who think about weightlifting all the time is, you gain their expertise and you gain their intelligence. And since I've been doing that, it's been a way that I can get down in that low squat and press a weight. So I just wanted to bring it up and say thanks for that, Coach. That was a really good idea.
I'm glad it worked.
Always try to find a way to move around and to get through any aches, pains, or injuries that you may have, and find ways to keep training. It's possible, but you just have to put some thought into it.
Well, I'll tell you what Coach recommended me to do that helped me tremendously, because I wouldn't say I'm injured, but I have a lot of aches and pains, and sometimes I feel like the Tin Man. He told me to take a salt bath. What's it called, Coach?
Epsom salt.
Epsom salt?
Epsom salt.
Epsom. I'm just going to call it a salt bath. And, Coach knows I take, I'm a hot water fiend, I should say. A lot of hot tubs, a lot of hot baths. I don't touch cold water. If I touch cold water, I get hurt. I get tight. I got to move like an athlete. I got to move fast. I got to be like Ali. Cold water makes me stiff. If I have to tell any new people starting out, get in that hot water. But again, Attitude Nation, do what you want, do what works for you. But I started taking these salt baths, and because I have a little bit of a lower back pain in training, I can get through training. I'm not going to stop. It doesn't really necessarily affect my training, but it's just very discomfort. A lot of discomfort casted upon me. But I tell you, if we're going to talk recovery, it's not one of my favorite subjects, but it's a very important subject. I love salt baths.
What's a good thing to add to that salt bath?
Lady Gaga with meat.
Oh, how did you know what I was thinking?
I know you too well,
How did you know what I was thinking?
Donny Shankle.
A little bit of pepper. No. But I used to put this might be a little good tip for you listeners out there. Eucalyptus oil. I used to put eucalyptus oil in the water that I would drop onto the hot rocks in the sauna over at the Olympic Training Center. And Coach had some eucalyptus oil. He sees me in training wipe eucalyptus oil under my nostrils before a big attempt. It's just a way to clear the head. And what I started adding to my Epsom salt baths
KY, Joey?
KY jelly.
What are you talking about, John?
What are you talking about?
We're talking about eucalyptus oil.
I will not recommend using eucalyptus oil as KY jelly, all right? Oh, man.
Give me some coffee, Coach. Pass it over here.
But adding a little eucalyptus
I need a
oil
sip.
to your Epsom salt bath is good. You know, it's relaxing. It clears your head and it makes the Epsom salt bath that much more better. Not as good as having Lady Gaga in there with some meat on her. But
why do you have to one-up my recovery?
I wasn't one-upping anything.
I like
Weightlifting Talk, 646-652-4173.
We got a caller here. Let's take another call. We got 405. 405, welcome to Weightlifting Talk with Glenn, Don, and Johnny. What's on your mind, buddy?
This is Kevin again. I was just listening. I didn't know you ever kicked me off.
Oh, it's all right, buddy. We moved on to the show. We lost you there, so.
Okay, well, I don't got anything else, so y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling, and Attitude Nation salute, and way to fight for that lift, buddy. We'll give us a call back later and keep us posted.
All right, we'll do.
All right, man.
You know, something that Eric brought up earlier that I just wanted to touch up on again was something that I've been trying to wrap my thoughts around, and that's the value of a miss. You know, going in there, and that's the same thing Kevin was talking about earlier, going in there and trying the attempt over and over and over until you make it. And the important thing that you need to take away from that, and what I think the value of a miss teaches you, is to stay positive. Big believer in staying positive in training, and even if you might miss, even if you may not make the attempt that day, stay positive and take from it what you have done. You know, like I talked about earlier on a clean and jerk. If the first day you pull it and don't go under, that's fine. The next day you might pull and rack it, but you don't stand up. And the next day you'll rack it and stand it. And then you move into the jerk. You know, it may take 15 attempts, but that's the value of a miss. And as long as you can stay positive, you know, and build that fearlessness, you know, it's a step towards the right direction, you know.
Now, weightlifting is not a sport for somebody that doesn't have some self-confidence.
Yeah.
You've got to develop some self-confidence, even some ego.
Absolutely.
Because without that, there's a lot of failure in weightlifting.
And I said in the beginning, either your ego can be either modestly or it can be theatrically. That's not the important thing. What matters is that you have it. You don't see great weightlifters walking up to the bar with a look in their eyes of doubt. You don't see weightlifters walking up to the bar whether or not they're in question of what they're going to do. They've been through the repetitions, they put the time in, and at that moment it's always important to have as much ego as you can. Ego is not a negative word. Ego is a good thing, especially in the gym, you know.
Well, that's why a lot of people ask, you know, John, why do you yell, jump around, you know, yell out lifters' names and you know, get all crazy before an attempt? And, yeah, I feel like I've calmed down over the years. I mean, boy, when I first started my first few years, I mean, holy moly.
What do they call you, Jumping Jonathan North?
Yeah, Jumping Jonathan North was my nickname. If you think I'm crazy now, then find an old 2007 video.
Well, I saw that mohawk of you in one video. That was badass, by the way.
Well, thank you. But, you know, and I tell people that, you know, that's not a show. You know, that's not an act. I mean, that is 100% pure emotion, and that emotion is there for one thing and one thing only, and that is to not be intimidated by the bar. You know, if I walked up to the bar calmly and thought about the lift and stared at the bar, that bar is going to intimidate the shit out of me. It's going to get in my head. I'm going to think about it way too much, and, you know, that weight is going to mean mug me up and down, and I'm just going to you know, have my knees start shaking and run away like a little girl. So, you know, I have to do it. You know, there are some times where I walk on that stage, and honestly, I'm a little tired. I don't want to yell, and I don't want to get jacked up, but I have to. It's part of what I must do to stay focused on just lifting weights and not thinking about it, not having that bar get in my head. I cannot. I have tried. I have tried in training. I have tried in meets to be calm. And I will say, you know, and I give credit to Coach Pendlay for this. He has calmed me down. I was a little too crazy when he first started coaching me, and it affected my lifting. I'd get a little too tired for the next lift, you know. But we have a good understanding of, you know, he knows what I need to do to make the lift, and that is not to think about the lift and not get intimidated by the bar. So for everybody out there that is a John North hater and he has an ego and he's arrogant and what a cocky son of a bitch, well, guess what? I'm sorry that you don't like me, but it's something that I must do to achieve greatness in this sport.
You got to take the bold step, John.
And that's something I wanted to talk about with you, Donny and Glenn, is the other day we were talking and during training, and you gave me this speech, and it was about bold steps, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, bold steps is about seeing a chance and risking it, and I'm a pretty single-minded person when it comes to what I want, and I think that's one of the things that's made me a great weightlifter, is when I don't deter from the path, and bold steps really means about if there's anything necessary that you have to do in your life, think of a way to relate it to how it's going to make you a better weightlifter. I'm going to give you a couple of examples here, and the most recent one was the move that we made, taking that chance for something better, not knowing what was on the other end. You relate that to training by, if you're brave enough and got the audacity enough and the gall enough to make that bold step, you're not going to be afraid of going to the bar. You're going to take that bold step in the gym. Another great visual example is when I was training in Hawaii with Jim Mosier. I remember there was this little place we used to go called Iao Valley, and we would lay in the river up there between training sessions, really cold water, and relax. But there was this bridge that was about 25, 30 feet up from a little pond of water that was only 7 feet deep. And a friend of mine, he had bet me that I wouldn't go up there and jump off. Now, you got to land at a certain angle, and he went ahead and taught me how you land at an angle, and that way you don't fall flat on your back and hurt yourself. But I was up there, and this is what I talk about necessity. This is where you got to be brave. You're not going to cower out, and be craven at that moment. You got to go up there and take the bold step, take the risk. And what that did for me that day, it told me, if I can jump off this 25, 30-foot bridge into this small pool of water, I'm never going to be afraid in that gym ever again, because I took the step. I saw the necessary opportunity, and I went ahead and took the step. And that's what bold steps is. If you take that in the gym with ego, if you take that into the gym with everything else you've learned, it's definitely a good thing, and it's a step in the right direction. Do you have any situations or examples, John, that you can relate to where you took that bold step for training?
Well, sure, the day I met you.
Whoa!
The day I met you and you invited me to train with you is the day I dropped out of school, quit my job, and bought a U-Haul and moved down the same day.
Met you at an In-N-Out and then gave you directions to the gym.
Met you at an In-N-Out. I was homeless. Me and my wife, girlfriend back then, slept in our car for many weeks, scraped up change to eat at the dollar menu. As broke as we could possibly be. I was a no-name. I went to a few local meets, and there was some buzz. I was slowly rising up in the rankings, but I was a no-namer. I've achieved absolutely nothing, and that's when I met you. And I knew right there and then when you invited me to train with you and invited me on the team. This was before even Coach Pendlay was even at Cal Strength, or I didn't even know who Cal Strength was. I just knew who you were. And I knew at that point in my life that, I kind of talked about this last show, that I had to take bold steps. That first bold step, I had to drop out of school. I had to quit my job, and I had to take this bold step to try to make this work. Because at the rate I was going, if anybody knew me back then, it wasn't anywhere good.
That's how it is. It's learn the value of a miss, take bold steps, and rip the bar like you're pulling the head off a goddamn lion.
And it paid off, let me put it that way. And anybody that wants to make something work can. I hate this recession talk, and I can't, and they're not hiring, and I can't train because of this, and my knee hurts, and I cannot stand people that talk like that. It frustrates me more than anything, and I think that's why we all succeed. It's because we all surround ourselves with positive talk, positive people, and we're all motivators. We're all go-getters. You have to be a go-getter. You have to get on stage. You have to lift the weight. You have to slam the bar. You have to get crazy. You have to love it. You have to have fun. And shit, now I do it to pay my fucking bills. I'm getting crazy right now. I've had about 3 cups of coffee, but I get jacked up about this situation. You got to train, and you got to just do it, and you got to take bold steps.
Get a little excited now, John.
God, you can't low bar back squat, people.
Take your collar, John. God damn it.
225, I'm sorry about my last rant. Go ahead on Weightlifting Talk. What's on your mind, buddy?
John North, this is Matt Bruce. How are you doing today?
Bruce, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
The legendary weightlifter.
He's here.
Another great-looking guy, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that, John. How you doing, Glenn? How you doing, Donny?
I'm doing great, man.
That's good. So tell me this. What is up with the Louisiana water? If I'm not mistaken, Donny is from Louisiana, right?
Yes, I am, and I think I know where you're. I know where you're going, this, Matt. For the
is there something in the water down here, or what do y'all think?
Matt, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all fine.
Okay. Sometimes I think when you talk and we talk at the same time, it gets a little. We can't hear each other. But go ahead, Donnie. Sorry.
No, I mean he's asking if there's something in the water in Louisiana. You're damn right there is.
Is it the Cajun blood or?
Matt, how many people did we have on for the PanAm Games that were from Louisiana? It was you, Kendrick, me, and wasn't there somebody else that was also from
Cody Gibbs.
Cody, he was also.
Yeah. Four of the 8-man team were Louisiana boys.
4 of the 8-man team were all from Louisiana.
So guys, tell me what's next for y'all and Muscle Driver, and are y'all going to Americans? Donnie, what's your next goal? Are you looking for another 4 years, or?
Well, Matt, before Donnie answers your question, our next goal and next bold step in MDUSA is to recruit Matt Bruce to get out here, wait out with me, drink some coffee, and slam some bars. When are you moving out here?
No, man. I think I'm hanging up my belt, man. I think I'm going to be moving on.
What are you talking? You're not talking about retirement, are you?
Yeah, as of right now, man, I'm giving it up, walking away happy though, proud,
Well, that's a sad thing right now, and I'm in shock. I mean, I remember when I started out in the sport. I was a Matt Bruce fan. I was a Donny Shankle.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a John North fan ever since that PanAm's in what was that, 2009?
Oh, 2010 is when we were, for the listeners out there, me and Matt Bruce were roommates the 2010 PanAm's, and wow, that crazy meet where we got stuck out there for, a week and a half in
Guatemala.
Well, I'm sorry. Hey, look, you had a fantastic career. Multiple national team, PanAm team. I mean, you have done it all, man. I mean, congratulations, and the weightlifting world will miss you like crazy. I mean, and I know that you inspired me to lift big weights. You inspired me to start in this sport. You were one of those guys that I had on my wall in the magazines back then. So
he also took $1,000 away from you at last year's Grand Prix.
That's true, Matt. We got to go. An asshole. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe if they hold that meet again, I'll get in good enough shape to whoop you one more time.
Yeah,
bring it again. You got lucky, Matt.
I'm going to be at the American Open, and I'm looking forward to this injury that I have healing, and I plan on, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be around for the next 4 years and possibly even more than that, and I'm excited to take what I've already learned. And that's something I love about weightlifting. And every competition that I go to, there's always that bright moment where it dawns on you that, shit, why didn't I know this before? Why didn't I apply it? And that's happened at every competition that I've been in, especially at the international ones. But you're damn right. I'm going to be at the American Open, and I'm going to kick some ass, man. And I'm going to be on the road to Rio. Very excited to take what I've learned and apply it. I feel like I'm coming into a new element as a weightlifter, and it's time to show it, you know.
Well, that's good, you know, to get that rekindling that fire back, you know. When we went to the PanAms, 2 months ago, I don't have that fire anymore, you know. Like I feel burnt out. And I'm glad that you still got that fire, Donny.
Matt, I want to ask you about something that's not really weightlifting related, but I know that you do some work with handicapped kids. Would you care?
Yes, I'm an adapted physical education teacher, so it's PE for disabled children.
Okay, is that and what does that entail? I mean, can you tell me a little bit about what you do there?
Basically, I work for the public school system. I work for 3 schools, and I'm the physical education teacher, but I only see special children, and I deal from mild, moderate to severe disabilities. And basically, we do it whatever the kids can do. If they're stuck in a wheelchair, I bring them out to the regular PE class, and if they're playing baseball that day, I'll help them literally hand over hand swing a bat and push their chair around the bases and whatever. But I typically keep them in the regular PE class so they're integrated with their peers. I never want them to feel like they're out of place or whatnot.
Oh, that's really nice, and one of the reasons that I think so is I've spoken to you before about this, and my daughter's handicapped, and she works with some people in school that like you, their job is just to work with handicapped kids, and I know that for her that's been so helpful and so important, and that she's gotten so much from working with people who are dedicated to working with handicapped kids. That I just want to give you a thank you for that career choice and for doing what you do. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
I appreciate that, Glenn. But I'll just go ahead and call and ask y'all a question about lifting. Normally, I see y'all squat at the end of y'all workouts. Is this something y'all typically do? Do y'all ever squat at the beginning of workouts? And why do y'all do that?
Matt, we squat usually in our afternoon workouts at the end of the workout. However, we do have a lighter morning workout, and we will squat during that workout. So that squat workout is before any really heavy work has been done.
And how often do y'all squat? How many days a week are y'all squatting?
That depends on where we are. We'll have periods where we squat twice a week, periods where we squat 2 days a week, periods where we squat 3 days a week, and periods where we squat 4 days a week. Right, squatting 4 days a week.
What kind of periodization are y'all using? Like, is it like a undulated or broken line, or more like a linear?
It's pretty linear, I suppose, but we have kind of distinct phases where we start out with less squatting days per week and higher reps, and then as we get more into doing doubles and singles, we squat more times per week, but it's more singles and singles and doubles and higher intensity.
Now, some of the listeners might get confused. Now, when you say higher reps, you're not going over maybe 8 or 10 reps, right?
Usually our higher rep phase will be sets of 5. However, we have gone up to 8 occasionally. I've always had over the last decade or so the best luck with doing a considerable portion of the squat work with sets of 5.
All right, well, good. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to call and give y'all support for everything y'all doing with the weightlifting community as I transition over to being more of a coach. I look forward to developing some athletes and having some battles that way in the near future.
Well, Matt, thank you for the call, and thank you for representing the United States for so many years like you have. And really quick, this is an inside thing between me and you.
I already know what it is, man.
I'm about to ask for you. Give me just something. Give me it a little bit here.
No, man, I can't do that on there. I might embarrass myself too much.
Dang it! I knew it. You know what? I tried.
Yeah, you tried. Good job. All right, guys. Well, I'll stay in contact with y'all, and like I said, keep up the good work for everything y'all doing for the community, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Attitude Nation salute.
Matt's a nice guy, man. He's
nicest guy I ever met, right?
On wheels too.
If you put Ben Claridad and Matt Bruce in a blender, you would get nothing but joy.
You know when I like to squat? I'm just going to throw this out here for you guys. I like to squat first thing in the morning when I'm at full mast. You know what I mean? You got the testosterone going. You know, it's like the clown that goes back and forth when you're a kid. When I'm at full mast,
Lady Gaga.
You got to get the testosterone going and use the legs, you know. That's when I like to squat. Right first thing in the morning.
Oh,
get on it.
Coach, pass the copy.
Sorry. Copy gone.
Well, I love Matt Bruce, and he was a great teammate and roommate. And I have some funny stories. I know Coach is smiling right now about stuff that went on in Guatemala.
I'm smiling, and I'm also drawing a finger across my throat. Don't you dare!
There are some things we can't talk about on this show, but boy, oh boy, if you ever have a beer with us at 11 o'clock at night, maybe you'll get some of them. But
let's go back to my full.
Well, Donny, you know, before Matt Bruce, the legendary Matt Bruce, and it's sad to hear him retire, but boy, did he have a fantastic career. Before he called, we were talking about bold steps a little bit. I don't want to say that I just wrote a blog on johnnorth.blogspot.com called Wanderlust. You get a chance to read it?
I did read it, and I'm going to read it again tonight and record it and put it up on my blog. I only think I've done that with one or two of your blogs, and the ones that really stand out.
Just one, Old Show.
Old Show. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. That was a good blog.
And I don't ask you to do these. I want listeners to know. I mean, you step when it's a good one. I know it's a good one because you step up and you.
If I read something and I think you're making a point, I'm going to go ahead and echo that point. You know.
Well, I'll tell you, I have been reading your blog lately, and
I've been busy.
You have a fantastic, I know I said this last radio show, but blog, and I learn a ton.
I have been.
What's the thing about where you put your butt in the air and then you go back into
those are peaks and valleys.
The peaks and valleys. And you told me today that you thought the peaks and valleys were your greatest exercise.
Peaks and valleys, I'll say, are probably one of the best exercises a weightlifter can do.
Now, why is that?
As it protects your back. It's kind of like a reverse hyper. You know, the reverse hyper machine that I like to get on at least once a week, peaks and valleys. It's just one of those exercises that's detail that you should be doing if you're a competitive weightlifter that will keep your back healthy. And I've heard them also called inchworms. And all it is you're in a push-up position. You bring your butt up into the air by taking 2 steps forward, stretch and decompress the spine. Then you go ahead and bring the feet back into a push-up position and drop the hips, and that goes ahead and sets the back arch.
Before
constant of stretching the spine, constant setting the back arch that goes ahead and takes care of your lower back, which I think is very important for every weightlifter.
Before or after training?
I do 10 before I go to bed each night. Now you can do them. You can do them before training as a stretch and a warm up. But what I do is every night before bed, I do 10 to 20 as a way to meditate and let go of what I did for training today and think about what I'm going to do tomorrow. But yeah, the blog's been going great. I've been really working hard on finishing this. Because you know my blog is eventually I wanted to write it as a book.
Now, see, I did not want to mention that because, and I've known this for a while though. I didn't know if you want to let the cat out of the bag, but a Donny Shankle book has been in the making for a few years now.
Yeah, and the great thing about this book is it's written by a weightlifter at a time that he is competing. You know, a lot of your books out there are written from a spectator point of view, and the thing that I wanted to really do with this, and it's evolved into something completely beyond what I thought it would be, because this single chapter, I've got about 13 chapters outlined, 6 of which are completed, and I'm almost wrapping up chapter 4 on the benefits of subordinate exercises, both in relation to the body and the mind. I'm at exercise number 54. We got a couple more to go, and it's taken me 15 months to write. And it's basically every exercise I've ever done in the gym, why it's good for you, what it does for you, how it can make you a better weightlifter. And I'm excited about it. You know, I just posted another one today, like I said, Peaks and Valleys, and this week has been really good. I've been able to sit down at my desk at night and write it.
You are, I love writing blogs with you. We get the computers out in Starbucks. You show me the greatest songs to write to. All the songs I post on my blog, I like to put songs on my blog that I write to just to kind of give the reader kind of the same like emotion I was going through when I wrote it. All those are from you. You know, Donny, what's the song today? And you lead me right to it. I don't even know how you find these songs.
I mean, writing is the hardest thing I've ever done. You know, that includes going to war, that includes winning national championships, that includes making world teams. The hardest thing I've ever done is sitting down and writing out what's on your mind clearly for other people to understand. That's difficult.
I agree.
And it's a challenge that I like to do each night, and it makes me a better weightlifter along the way because it has me remember and recollect everything I've learned and to keep applying it into the gym each day. And your blog I get a lot of comments about your blog from people as well, and how you're going in a completely different direction than me, and I think it's a great duo. When you post something that I've written and I post something that you've written, it's such good knowledge for people.
Well, I find the mind of an athlete and especially a weightlifter absolutely fascinating. So I like writing. It's fun, and like you said, it's hard. One of the hardest things you're right I've ever done. But I'll tell you, it's peaceful. It's the most peaceful thing I've ever done. Growing up, I had real bad ADD, and I was very hyper, as obviously some of you could tell, and had trouble concentrating a lot. I had all these ideas and passion and energy, but I had trouble focusing a lot of times. And I'll tell you, writing has been the greatest tool to help me with all that. I've never been at more peace than when I'm writing. I love it. It's something I'll do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I write when I'm at full mast, too. You got to.
All right, 6:04. We only got a few minutes left. We got to make it pretty quick, but welcome to Weightlifting Talk. What's on your mind, buddy?
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry about that. The reception. Just like to say it's awesome to meet all three of you. Glenn Pendlay, Donny, Shankle, John North. You guys are awesome. Try and keep up with everything you do. I had a quick question actually about flexibility, and I've only been lifting for about 9 months now. A couple months doing clean and jerks, and about 7-8 months doing powerlifting. And I've had quite a bit of problems with my humerus, basically the bicep tendon. Well, the humerus pops out of place and the bicep tendon takes over, and then it doesn't work terribly well. So I was wondering what you guys do for shoulder flexibility.
The biggest thing for shoulder flexibility is just to put the bar, and I assume you're talking about the snatch, just put the bar in the correct position and keep it there and develop strength in that position. Weightlifting, in effect, is its own stretching routine. Donny was talking about an exercise earlier, which are presses, snatch grip presses from the squat. That's something that you might try. Put the bar across the back of your head or back of your neck. Take a snatch grip on the bar. Push the bar up. Lock your arms. Make sure that when you lock your arms, your back is arched. You're facing straight forward. Head is looking straight forward, and the bar's behind your ears. Hold it there for a second. Go back down. It seems like it wouldn't be that hard. It's usually very hard to do at first, and you'll build strength in that position and your flexibility at the same time.
Well, thanks for the call, buddy. We never got to catch your name, but thank you for your support and calling in. And of course,
I got a question since Coach is here. I wanted to take the advantage and ask him, Coach. I've been getting a lot of emails from people, a lot of CrossFitters who say that when they lift in front of a mirror. And I know a little bit as to why that's not a good idea, but I think it's going to be a good little tip for the audience today. If you could tell us what happens when you lift in front of a mirror, and why don't you see good weightlifters lifting in front of a mirror?
The biggest reason is that when you're lifting in front of a mirror, you have that visual feedback, and you learn to rely on it. You can't help it. We're visual animals. I mean, a lot of the information we get about our environment comes from the eyes, and if you can rely on the visual feedback, you will, and you won't develop that kinesthetic awareness of being able to know where your body is in space without being able to look at it. You don't have a mirror in front of you in competition, and so you need to develop the ability to understand what position you're in, which direction you're moving, where you're in relation to the bar without visual feedback.
That was perfect. Did you hear that? I like that. We're where you are in space. That's where Coach Pendlay can push some shit in when it comes to weightlifting. Damn, man. I would have thought of that. Where you are in space. Anyway, I'm sorry.
His answers are so elegant. How does he do that?
I don't know. Brings me to full master.
I gotta stop doing that. Wrong with me. What does that even mean? Well, I guess it's not like we're sponsored by ABC.
Yeah. Well, not yet.
Well, I feel like we've been good because we haven't cussed. Yeah. It's something that we really want to do on this show.
You said one cuss.
Well, I got crazy for a little bit.
I'm sitting right next to you, and the whites of your knuckles are showing, and I didn't know how to do a tuck and roll, get down because there's a grenade coming. You know what I mean? But I meditated. You know.
Yeah.
I said it through.
I apologize.
Scared the shit out of me though. Oh, there it is. There's number 2.
Yeah, you can't cuss.
Can't do it.
I get that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the coffee or just how God made me, but I get freaking jacked up, man. Even when I'll play a video game and start slamming controllers.
Yeah,
what's wrong with me? You know?
Well, you got your emotion. Well, makes you a good weightlifter, though.
I mean, if you look at me funny, I start crying.
No.
I cry at night every night.
No, you don't.
I'm kidding.
Before the show ends, we got a couple more minutes here. Coach Sean and I talked about low bar back squats last week. Is there anything you wanted to add to that? Were we completely wrong? Were we going a little bit too far? What's your take on low bar back squats, Coach?
Well, I don't need low bar back squat, but in weightlifting, a big part of weightlifting and a big part of the beauty of the lifts is the coordination of going in the bottom and coming out of the bottom, utilizing that stretch reflex. A lot of times we call it the bouncing out of the hole. That's a big part of weightlifting, especially, obviously, the clean and jerk. One of the other things that is a huge component of weightlifting is you have to develop strength in the right positions. Your body will always attempt to revert to wherever it's strongest, whatever position it's most used to and is strongest in. And so you want to develop strength in the same positions that you need to be in the snatch and clean and jerk. Obviously, a lot of strength is built with the squat, and so we want to make that bottom of the squat similar to the bottom of clean, and we want to have the rhythm and the motion at the bottom of the squat the same as it is on the clean, or else when the clean gets heavy, you're going to have a tendency to subconsciously really revert back to where you've handled the most weight before. And that's more of a powerlifting style, if you call it lower squat. That's not going to be good. One of the other things that I've found over years, and I think a lot of other people have too, is that a deep upright torso, also can be called a high bar squat, has a lot of transfer to other things, including a low bar squat. If you're strong with the bar up on top of your traps, going all the way down as far as your flexibility allows you to go, standing back up, you're going to be also strong in a very wide range of other things. I have found that if you're a strong high bar squatter, you're also a strong low bar squatter. But if you're a strong low bar squatter, you may not be a strong high bar squatter. Even Dr. Squat himself, Fred Hatfield, said in one of the books he read that even powerlifters who squat with a more powerlifting type stance in a low bar position in competition, that even powerlifters should spend a good amount of their off season time high bar squatting. So personally, I'm not say low bar squats are evil or no one should do them. I feel the high bar squat is transferable to the sport.
Well, thanks, Coach. I guess it was better to hear that from you so everyone can understand. Well, that's a pretty good show today.
Pay your taxes.
Please your woman.
And crush clean and jerks. What about the snatch? No.
I don't want to talk about that lift.
I want to. See, that's so funny. We're the exact opposite, you know.
I want to thank you, Coach, for being with us today. Great. We look forward to having you on again.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good show. We got training now in 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes, yeah.
Go grab another coffee from Starbucks,
and
I'll get you. Well, I bought the iced tea last time.
I like my coffee like I like my women, brown and sweet.
Wow.
I know. And I put a little sweet in there, okay? Put a little milk in there, make it brown, swirl it around, and I'll take care of the rest. All right.
Oh my gosh. You are awesome.
You know, take us out, John, because if I keep talking, we're gonna go someplace so late night showtime with this. You know what I mean? Thanks for listening. John North and Donny Shankle here. We'll see. Tune in next week and we'll hear you. Good luck in training and go lift heavy.
Slam bars. Salute.
Dream Chasers. Philly, what's up?
Yeah. I'ma chase my dream, coming to America like Prince Hakeem. I ain't never give a fuck, but then I seen high definition to give was forever given, but nothing was never given. I built it from ground up. I started out with my basement and built it my house up. I'm rich off of opportunity, money gon' pile up.